Hey everybody, it's Musa Jackson, and this is Ambassador Digital Magazine Live. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad to be connecting with you. We have an amazing show, amazing guest. I cannot wait for you to, for us to have that dialogue, engage, and also obviously see his beautiful cover later. Um, Gosh, okay. So listen, it's April Fool's Day today, and I am not today, not today. Next year we'll revisit this, but too much is going on. But before I get there, before we go in about what's been happening in this country, I decided let's do a little good news beforehand because before I go into that, I just need to have some joy before we get into all of the stuff that's been happening in this country. But so my birthday, as you know, was a few weeks ago, and I went to Puerto Rico, came back, had an amazing time, and of course, just getting back in the swing of things. And just the other day, I got a little gift from a amazing store up here in Harlem called Shop Nilu. Shop Nilu is just one of our wonderful gift stores, gift shops. It's Black owned. It's a husband and wife team. Katrina and Mark, they're actually my neighbors as well. And they are fabulous. The place is fabulous. You can get anything that you want. This is where I go to for my last minute gifts. And they gave me a couple of things. They got me this. This is little notebook. It's got this. Okay. So I love stuff like this, looks cute. Oh, a little card. This is the amazing Richard Wright. We should all know who he is. Richard Wright, right? Invisible Man, Harlem Renaissance. It's this little card, postcard here. And then what else we got in the bag? We got Soul Cacao. This is Soul Cacao. I don't know if you could see it. It's it's also a black-owned chocolate company, and it's 70% dark chocolate from Ecuador. And anyway, it's so good. So when you go look them up, this is a great little stocking or gift for your lover, whoever. And then they know me so well. I love a good candle. I could smell this in the bag. And I was like, when you could smell a candle from in the bag, you already know what's going to happen. Okay. So I got to light this up. I'm going to wait. I could do it for myself, but I think I might wait for that. Damn. If you could smell what I smell. This is amazing. And it's Chandel Atelier, luxury scented candle. I don't know if it's black owned, but I do know it smells good. Okay. So they do support a lot of small businesses, not only in Harlem, but around the city. It's Nilu, which is located, it's 191 Malcolm X Boulevard, Lenox Avenue for the rest of us from Harlem, between 119th and 120th Street. Go there, mention Musa, mention Ambassador Digital Magazine, and we might just hook you up a little something off your first purchase, okay? All right. So I want to thank you, Katrina and Mark, for a cute little birthday gift. I appreciate you so much. I want to also say, God, what else is going on out there? Let's have some good news first, right? Really good friend of mine, Eugene Ash, I grew up with, amazing director of Sylvie's Love. He won for Outstanding Director for his amazing movie, Sylvie's Love. Eugene, love you. Congratulations on that. Okay, and all the other Image Award winners. It was a great year. And so I just want to say congratulations to all the winners. Okay, so here we go. I always say this, I am not a newscaster. I'm a regular black man from Harlem that knows people, that has been in the scene and has an opinion and a point of view. And I, just like to keep it real and raw and tell you what I feel. But, child, since we've been gone, it's been a lot. We had in Atlanta, we had 8 women, sorry, with the Atlanta mass shooting, which killed 8 people, 6 of them Asian women, a hate crime, let's call it what it is, a terrorist attack, let's call that what it is. And once again, killing people of color. White supremacists are out there and they have assault rifles and they are just going off and are being captured in certain cases, and every single case being taken alive. Okay, surprised it didn't stop at McDonald's, you know. But this is just the difference in terms of what's happening in this country, how we're treated for being unarmed, minding our business in certain cases, and yet, you know, these tragedies are happening across our country. Then we have the following week, we had I had to write all this down because there's so much happening. We had the Boulder, Colorado situation that happened with the mass murder again. Went into a superstore store and killed 10 people. One of them was a police officer who was a heroic police officer. Let me see, his name was Eric. I have it here, Eric Talley. You know, and once again, the mass murder domestic terrorist was taken out and they shot him in the leg. So you see a theme here. You see how they know what they're doing. They know how to capture criminals. They know how to capture, you know, terrorists. They know how to find them. They know how to bring them out alive. They just lose everything when it comes to someone looking like us, looking like me. Okay. And this is being illustrated. And so, you know, when you're just sitting in your home, you know, you can't help but walk away thinking, you know, we have such a screwed up police force. We have to figure this out. I'm big on reform. You know, people said defund the police. I think we need to reform the police. I think we need to, you know, definitely work on the guns. We have to make it harder to purchase and register an assault rifle, but you can't vote. You know, they're making it harder for us to vote. Speaking of that, in Atlanta, Georgia, in Georgia, we had the Governor George Kemp, the Republican Kemp, was inviting this I call voter suppression bill, even they call voter reform bill. And we had a congresswoman, elected official, Black woman, was knocking on the door. You know, one of our elected officials wanted to know what the hell was going on, knowing what was going on, making our voices heard. And she was assaulted. She was hauled off, put in handcuffs and arrested on camera, like it was nothing. Same place in a Capitol. And so we knock on doors, they storm doors. This is what happens. One woman, 4 or 5 cops needed to pull her, drag her off like that. And why? What are they suppressing? We can't even, we can't even stand on the line without, you know, we can't be given water. We can't be given food. I think if you're after 5 o'clock, you're going to shut it down. So if you're working, you know, you miss your chance to vote. So you got to take a day off in the worst economy ever. Then we have, and I'm going to get to where we are now with this, the trial that's happening. Let's keep it focused on the trial. But then we had just today, I couldn't even, even focus. I'm, you know, working on the show, working on, you know, other things, and another mass shooting happens in California. 4 people were killed. One was a child, 9 years old, at an office building, I believe. I don't know much more about it because I was at day 4 of the Derek Chauvin, the racist, murdering, lynching cop who killed George Floyd. Let's keep the perspective here. It's not the George Floyd trial. It's Derek Chauvin. He killed him. It was shown on the. Let's not forget. It was an 8:46. It was actually 9:29. So even more time was used to kill him. And he was on his neck. He could not breathe, and he died. He was asphyxiated, and he probably broke his neck too, whatever, with that on the neck. But he was lynched in front of all of us, and in front of not just us, but witnesses which have come forward. And I must say, these witnesses, I'm telling you, God is always in the mix, always in the mix. One of the witnesses knew chokeholds because he was a wrestler. The other one was, I think, an EMT or fireworker. So she was there to understand that this was improper. Then there was a young girl, 17 years old, with her I think her younger sister, who was 9. And I think my point is that the people that were there all represented, and it wasn't a mob, which they're trying to now say because they were menacing. So, if you can't even do your job, and of course they're now trying to make George Floyd look like he was a drug addict, which has nothing to do with the fact that he lost his life on camera in 9 minutes and 29 seconds due to a racist situation, a cop that pulled him out because of a supposed $20 fake bill. Okay, no summons was issued. Okay, it could have been easily avoided with that. Let's just even go there. All right, but this is what happened, which would spark worldwide protest. And so we're here now. This is where we are. I know I'm lumped so much, but this is where we are. And then, we all stand with that family. We want the maximum. We want conviction. I don't care. I need a conviction. I'm speaking from Harlem. I'm speaking as an ambassador. I'm speaking as a Black man. I'm speaking as a gay man. I'm speaking as a father. I need a damn conviction, okay? And the highest number that you can give him, I need that. We need that, okay? And it's, so I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna bring it down. Ooh, I had to get that out, child. I had to get it out, just talk about it because, it's a lot. But I love shows like this. I love what we're doing. I love that we have people like our guest, our honored guest. Because let me tell you, when I met her, I was entranced. I was like, if you meet her, you just go, oh, look at her. She's fierce. And but let me just say, our first guest is Atlanta born and bred, original Georgia peach, honey, right? We rise in Atlanta to become one of the top hairstylists, period. If you were anybody, you were in her chair. And from there, she would go on to do guest stint on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And let's be clear, she's not a reality star. She's just fierce like that, okay? And Andy Cohen would hand select her to be a co-host with our very own, we love her to death, Bevy Smith and Derek J on Fashion Queens, Bravo's Fashion Queens. And then made another fan from one of the most amazing directors of our time, Lee Daniels, would see her and put on Empire and then create a role, Miss Bruce on Star, where she's just giving it, honey. We all know a character, like I grew up in Harlem, so I know that character. And not only that, let's just say this too, she's an amazing singer. You'll hear that later, but amazing singer with her Say Her Name, which is an anthem for Black women. But it's her most recent role in the Oscar-nominated film that is captivating everybody on the life of one of our greatest jazz singers of all time, U.S. versus Billie Holiday as Miss Freddy, playing her best friend. And she is slaying it. I have to just say this. Let's just bring her out, bring her out, bring her out. Come on out here, Miss Lawrence, honey. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, Musa.
Hi,
Hi.
we're here.
You're slightly delayed, but we'll work through it.
Okay. So, but you look incredible. First off,
Thank you.
yes,
Thank
beautiful.
you. I do what I can when I can.
Well, you doing it. You doing it. And that's the one thing I'm just gonna let you know. From Harlem to a Georgia peach, you are doing it.
Thank you. Harlem feels like a second home to me because so many people that I'm extremely close to and that has become a part of my chosen family is there,
Mhm.
um, which makes me sad because I hadn't been to Harlem in over shit, well over a year because none of 2020, and then I wasn't able to get. It's probably been a year and a half since I've been to Harlem.
Okay, right. Because when did you just so a year and a half? Were you filming or what was it? Why didn't you come? I know of course.
Well, yeah, because we shot the movie United States versus Billie Holiday um, in the last quarter of 2019,
Okay,
and immediately following that is when Corona decided to show up.
right, right, right. Yeah, just
So
stopped
she put the
everything.
kibosh on everything.
Of course, of course. But
Yeah, you had to stop every damn thing. It took me a minute for it to really sink in, and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck is really going on here?" But
yeah.
yeah, honey, here we are in 2021, slowly but surely coming out of it.
Oh, child, we just talked about that earlier, and I mean, coming out of it, but just look at it, child. It's so much. Every other week we're talking. I was just talking
I
the
tell you
intro,
one thing,
mass
we
shootings and all.
won't be forgetting her.
We won't. Not forget her, okay? But let's just go back. Speaking of not forgetting, let's go
No.
back to your beginnings. I want to go back. Yes. Tell us about what it's like growing up in Atlanta for you. Did you get it?
Growing up in Atlanta, it was, yes, I hear you. Uh-huh. It's just going to be a little delayed, but I'm fine. Um, Growing up in Atlanta was good. It was a very it was a very freeing experience, but there were obviously moments that were um, scary at times because I grew up um, in a time when being non-binary or gender non-conforming or cross-dressing, it's a
Mhm,
lot of new terms out there that
mhm,
somewhat describes what I do and what others like me do. But anyway, it wasn't very popular back then, and so um, there were moments growing up that were scary. There were periods, excuse me, that was scary, especially during the time of self exploration, where you're trying to figure out, um, am I doing and existing exactly as I should be? So those are the scary, and I could go in detail, which would take forever and hours, and perhaps that'll be a part of a book maybe later, of exactly what that was like. Um, but overall, oh no, they didn't.
Ah,
Come on.
who's
Look
that?
at that,
Who's
honey.
that?
I'm gonna tell you something. I was the
Talk about it.
gayest little football player you ever want to be,
All
honey.
right.
The gayest football player you ever want to be, child.
I had
That's
to
funny.
bring
I
that
was
up. When I
very
saw that
good though.
photo, I said,
I
"You looking butch."
listen.
That's a butch right there. I said, "Let me see who is that." And I look. I said, "Oh my God, how
Shitting me.
cute!"
I now I look at that picture and I'm like, oh my God, that was a baby queen. Back then I didn't know it was a baby queen, but I can look at it now and be like, if I saw that little boy
Uh huh.
now, I'd be like, oh my God, look at that baby queen, so cute. But I was
So
so good. Let me
cute.
tell you, I was so good. I was a linebacker for the
We lost him.
here. I'm so sorry. I don't know how that happened. I have my phone on airplane mode. I don't know how somebody was able to get through. But anyway, let me tell you, I was a linebacker for the College Park Rams, and I was so
Mhm.
good that the following season, of the coach called my parents and was like, we want him back to be like quarterback. And I was like, bitch, no. I only did that shit because y'all was trying to find shit to try to work to get all the my feminine tendencies away, to make sure that they weren't what they thought they were, but the shit didn't work, and I was still blossoming into a full flamingo. But that doesn't negate the fact that I was a hell of a football player.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm looking and I say, another thing you could have probably done would have been, you could have went on a field and you might have done your own version. And maybe
my own
taken
version
it.
Of what?
Football, some heels and foot, do it all. Bring it. Bring it.
Oh, well, I could have thought of
That'd be
plenty
too
things
much.
to do. I could have thought of plenty things to do on the field with a lot of football players. Okay, honey.
Mm-hmm. So, but then one of the things I do know is that you, at that time, you were into, we talked about the arts, and one of the big things that you were was singing, right?
Yeah.
So your mom got you into singing and a lot of things like that when you were a kid?
Yep. Yes. Yep. I started singing in the choir. I grew up in church, and I started singing in the choir, and I sang in the choir through all of my childhood, through my early teenage years. And I left it alone because, I just kind of got tired of singing in different pulpits or in various, events or banquets or galas, in tuxedos and singing all these beautiful message songs. And, it just really didn't add up to what I was feeling in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this idea that I wouldn't be accepted any other way. So I left it all alone. I left the arts alone. And that's when I really, really answered to my other calling, and that is the beauty industry.
Right here. And it's interesting you said that. So you were like looking at the situation and saying who you wanted to present, they weren't going to accept that. But they might accept this other thing, right? They might accept you, or you would, the hair industry, the beauty industry.
Right. Because as we know, correct. As we know, right. As we know, the beauty industry is a very, very freeing space. It's I think everybody, every Black person anyway, knows someone or is connected to a Black woman who has gone to a Black gay hairstylist, or a Black gay makeup artist, or has a Black gay best friend, the one that they tell all their problems to, and you name it. So I knew that there would be some refuge there. And aside from just that, I had there was just kind of this connectedness that I felt to what I would witness beauty do to my mother and my sister when I would go to the salons with them or to the nail salons with them, and the way, the transition of how they felt when they went in versus when they came out. And I think that's another thing that really, really brought me to that industry, and it worked. It worked because I became really, really, really good at it. And because of that, not to fast forward this conversation, but because of that, I was able to get back to the arts, what my original passion was, but on my own terms. Right. And not having to think I would have to hide, because I would never be good at hiding. I wouldn't hide back then, and I wasn't about it. Because even when I was singing a choir and these little different groups and all this type of stuff when I was young, I would still be up there with a tuxedo with lip gloss on. Or I couldn't have lip gloss because I couldn't buy it. My parents had to buy it. I wouldn't know, they wouldn't buy it. So I would like put on like Vaseline, But it was definitely there was definitely some type of statement somewhere.
Right. And then as you got older, you're just able to really just embrace it and really be who you want it to be. And be who you are.
Right? I was like, oh, fuck this, bitch. This is comfortable for me. But the tight jeans, the fierce Juicy Couture jogging suits that that allow everything to jiggle when you walk, honey. It just was
Mhm.
all very, very comfortable. And yeah, and then once I started to become celebrated as being the super talented beauty industry figure and fixture. Yeah, it was just like, oh, bitch, this is
Bring it.
this is my calling. This is my
Yeah.
purpose, you know?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that because that's the one thing about the arts, I feel, is that it does allow us to, if you know, when we go there and we are authentic to who we are. I've always seen it happen from Grace to Sylvester, right? When you are, you know, true to yourself, we embrace the truth, and that's what I feel they saw in you, was the truth.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
with that said, then you being the celebrated hairstylist in Atlanta, one of your clients was Sheree Whitfield, who
Yes.
was right at that time embarking on something that a new career of her own, which was this whole reality TV space,
Yep.
and wanted you to be a part of that.
Yes.
Tell us about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, so Sheree and I became really good friends. I was a customer at her store. She owned this really beautiful clothing boutique named Bella Azul in Atlanta, and I was one of her customers. And it was, they sold, really nice stuff, kind of high end stuff. And she became very intrigued uh, by me being a customer because at first she thought that I was in there shopping for a client. I think she thought I was a fashion stylist or something at first, and that I would be in there, picking out Catherine Malandrino blouses or Chloe jackets and stuff for a client who, would be, because it was a woman's clothing store. And then one day I'm like, I need a dressing room. And she was like, for you? I was like, yes. And then I would shop in there on a regular. Um, and we ended up, having drinks, going out. We just became really, really, really good friends. And then eventually, she was asked to be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise, and she asked me would I come on the show with her as her friend and hairstylist. And it didn't phase me. It was like, okay, I mean, that's what we are anyway. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a camera doing it. So that show, obviously came larger than life. And from that, Andy Cohen, who's very dear, he saw something in me and he drew interest in me, and thought I would be a great host. Oh, look at me and Ray. I call her Ray.
All right, okay,
I was
beautiful.
painted. Come on. Anyway,
You
um,
are gorgeous.
painted, honey.
Yes.
What is that? I don't know. A magenta lipstick, a plum, whatever. Anyway, Andy called me one day and offered me Fashion Queens. He offered me
Okay.
Fashion Queens and told me about Bevy Smith and Derek J. And I already known Bevy in passing, or met Bevy in passing
Mhm.
in New York. And actually, I was doing backstage commentary for BET Rip the Runway, and I met Bevy on the red carpet because she was hosting the red carpet, I believe, and that's when we first met. And
Mm.
of course, in Bevy fashion, she asked the craziest questions, which were good, very thought provoking. And
Right.
so when Andy told me that I will be doing the show with Bevy Smith and Derek J, I was like, oh wow, okay. It's crazy how stars align. And that was the show, that was the moment, that was the period in my life that
Mhm.
gave me confirmation that I was about to really embark on a totally different journey.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was life changing. Fashion Queens was life changing.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that when because you didn't set up. Reason I love that moment that you just talked about, because I know from talking to you already had you already celebrated. You're already well known. You're already like kicking, living that life. Buying whatever you want, living a great life in Atlanta, celebrated, right?
Yes.
And TV wasn't necessarily, like you said before, wasn't something in the cards or wasn't thought about. And
No.
then here you are becoming, like I said, being able to step out, make a mark, be recognizable, and people remembering you. That's another thing, is that when you stepped out, people were instantly attracted to you. They were like, who is that? Like people remembered, I remembered you. Who is this person? You know what I mean? I want to know more about her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I knew that clicked in you because you were like feeling it's like a mutual situation. And now
you know what? I gotta tell you, it took some adjusting. It took some getting used to, because in my mind, I'm just doing me.
Okay.
You know, I'm just doing me. I've always had a way with words. I've always had a very certain type of way of expressing my opinions. And so doing Fashion Queens, I just got paid to do it. But I still couldn't figure out, it was still very dreamy that I had been given that opportunity, and that I was doing what I was doing. So I could not figure out why people would, I couldn't figure out what the big interest was. I just want to do me, honey. It took a lot of getting used to. I think because what people don't get to see behind the scenes or in private is that you are still in a lot of ways seen and viewed as just one type of way, And so while I know I'm progressing and I'm growing, there would always be these things, these moments, and people that would try to remind you that bitch, you are just still a queen from the South. Don't get it twisted. And we, yeah. So anyway, that so it was kind of a back and forth thing mentally, about how I felt about being embraced and what it all entailed. But all in all, overall, I can't complain. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing because I think it's healed a lot of people. I think it's healed a lot of families, especially Black families. And I say that confidently because I've been approached by fathers who have gay children that did not have relationships with their child because their child was gay, but because they saw the representation, the small representation of Black queerness in film or in television at that time, Fashion Queens, and the time that I spent on Housewives, it sparked a conversation between the families. And I think that is the most rewarding part of it all, because I'm very genuine when it comes to wanting people to feel free and to feel that whatever space they occupy is celebrated and honored, and that it is the work of our higher being, and that it is not condemned and it should never be condemned. And I feel like having these opportunities in film and being visible in popular spaces, I think it kinds of perpetuates that idea that it's okay to let go and live.
Yeah, and like you said, what you're saying is representation matters. And when you're out there, you're not on TV and you're trying to understand, and you think that you're alone or your child is this way, and you turn on the TV, you see Fashion Queens or something like that, and there you are, and there the topics are. You know what I mean? There's some connection. You do feel like you're not alone. Like this is not a bad thing. This is something that, maybe my child will be okay in the world. Because look at Miss.
Literally, that is what the conversations have been. That is literally what people come up to me and say. I just a few weeks ago, one of my house kids, who I'm one of the mothers of the House of Balenciaga. One of my house kids, he does drag. He's a drag performer, and he told me that I had to go to the show and perform tonight. He's like, I had to leave early because my biological father was there. And I immediately thought, I was like, oh God, Wait, did he drag you out of there? Did he not? Because his child is young. And I'm like, did he drag you? You're not so. He was like, oh, no, 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 no. My father comes to every one of my drag shows. He likes to support me. And I just was like, he's much younger, so he didn't understand exactly what that did for me. But I told him, I said, I have got to talk to your father. And so he put him on the phone, and I just had to tell him, thank you. You know, that means so much that this man comes to celebrate his son and drag. Like that's not, that is new. That is new.
I love that. Well, you see, that's who we talked about this before. That's the type of parent I had, even though I wasn't over the top. We're still talking about Harlem. We're still talking about coming out with your sexuality and not being hood and not being what they wanted me to be. And I was just kind of this artist, this model, wore different type of clothes and spoke a certain way, walked a certain way. And but I had a parent that was like, I love you and I will support you and how you are. My family is the same way. So having that's so important. Whoever will watch this, it's so important to support your children and who they are.
Is. Yes,
it really is.
It really is. And it's like, I've never been ostracized from my family. My family is my parents, my sister, they've never really put their mouths on me.
Okay.
But to see this little boy be affirmed in a way where his father shows up in his space. It's one thing to be like, do what you do, just be safe. We're not really going to talk about it. No, he took the real route. The real route, which really changes the idea and trajectory and normalize these relationships, is showing up in the spaces with your child,
right.
And so that's what that symbolized to me. And it did a lot for me. It did a whole lot for me.
And I love that. I actually, somebody wants to say something to you, and we're trying to get her on right now, y'all. So she wants to say something to you. We're trying to get her on, but she can't come on camera though. Okay, but you might recognize. You can't. And that's another story. We can't get her on camera, but she definitely wants to say hi to you.
Hello, lover.
Oh, why did I know this?
Is that my daughter?
Why did I know this was the icon, the mother, Bevy Smith? Hi, mama.
Hi, daughter dearest. Hi, my Musa.
Beverly.
Hi, guys. I love you guys so much. I cannot come on camera because my mom is here with me because she had her second shot for the vaccine. And I took the time to take out my cornrows, and I'm in the process of washing my hair and conditioning and all that.
But I know you got gilders you can put on, but yeah.
Okay, so what you want me to put on the gilder real quick? But I got on a sweatshirt. It's really not that cute.
Well, listen, be careful because Musa will try to drag you if you come on subpar, because I came on and did like the tech rehearsal and I had on like a sweatshirt and he was like, oh my, he was like, you're Miss Lawrence, this is what you're wearing. I'm like, sir, this is a tech rehearsal. You won't get the thing in a tech rehearsal. So don't ever come for me because it literally takes me 5 minutes.
And she pulled it together like that.
Wait, them Harlem boys demand the most of the most, darling.
I see.
But I want to say, everyone, that's our beloved Bevy Smith. Of course, you know that voice. Of course. Yes. You know the voice, honey. And then you must, I got to go. Revelations, this book right here is everything. So
it's necessary. It's like, when I spoke of,
it's the bomb. I want number two.
When I spoke of fashion queens and how that part of my life and the beginning of my television career was just so pivotal. It was because you know, of Bevy. She deposited so much and shared so much and offered so much, so many pearls and planted so many seeds. And yeah, and all of that is in her book. So I implore everybody to make sure you get a copy of that, because it really goes in detail in a very real way about what transition looks like, you know. So when I
but
went,
wait, this tribute is about you, baby. This tribute is about you.
Didn't I
Not
say
about
she
me.
would say that, Paul? And you're right, baby. Thank you so much for coming on and saying hi. We love you. Once again, buy Revelations, the book. And everybody should have a Bevy
Wait, I'm
Smith.
coming on. Wait.
no, she's coming on. Okay. Is this one of those time things where you like only have an hour or no?
No,
Okay,
we can go. We can
Okay,
go.
good.
We can go back. Hey, yes. Look at there.
Is she on?
Yes,
oh,
baby.
I can't see her because the picture is here. Hi, mama.
Hi, baby boy.
Wait. This thing is in the way. Paul, can you take rid of that? Get rid of that. Paul, you hear me, Paul?
Patty, what's my name?
There she is. There she is.
Ooh.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Hi, baby. Okay, so
yes, put it together, honey.
the Bevy Smith had to pull together real quick. I put on a little pink silk
Love
robe.
it.
I put on my turban that has pink in it. So
It's really pretty.
okay, thanks.
Fantastic.
I really wanted to just come on and say how proud I am. Hi, Angelique, of my daughter's son, Miss Lawrence. She is one of the most talented people that I know, and I know a lot of talented people. But the thing that the world has yet to see of her is the full scope of her talent. And I cannot wait for that to be unleashed, because we got a taste of it. We got a really good nugget taste of it from United States versus Billie Holiday, with her in that pivotal role of Miss Freddy, which really poured her spirit and her soul, and she really gave life to Miss Freddy. But there's more to come. And I know that God
absolutely
her with an even greater opportunity, and it's going to be something where she will be showcased. She will be the lead. And I really hope that thing will be Billie Holiday. I mean, not Billie Holiday. I hope that thing will be the Sylvester movie. All him to do Sylvester. We all do.
Thank you, mother.
So can I jump in?
Yeah.
Can I jump in with that? So when I was 18 years old, I worked at a store downtown in Soho. Yes. And one of my clients was Sylvester.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was the sweetest.
Of course.
I think about her. I mean, I'm 56. This is 18. I never forget her. She was so just her spirit and love. And I mean, it's one of those things you just never forget. So knowing her or having been around her personally, and the minute you just said that, from God, come on through. Right here, I see it. I see it.
God will do that. I believe that God will do that, or there will be something else equally as fabulous. But my daughter's talent will not be denied. That's what I do know.
That we do know.
You know.
Thank you.
And here's the craziest thing, and this is something that his life should be so inspirational to everyone that's on here. You know, he had a very hugely successful career as a hairstylist, hugely successful. He was a child prodigy in that space as well. And he had his own business. He bought his own apartment by the time he was 25 or something crazy.
24, yep.
24. And, he's always done these amazing milestone moments at years earlier than most people do them. And I think it's the maturity. I think that's what God is getting him prepared for. The maturity level that's needed for his next ascension. Everything is as it should be. My daughter's just she's working on herself and don't even know how she's working on herself in preparation for what's next. Because what's next, my child is going to be in such another stratosphere. Because so Musa, you need to know this. Me and him have a deal that I'm going to be able to ride his coat.
You said what?
I'm going to be able to ride his coattails. You know, there's always a hanger on her in the crew.
Yeah.
I'm Miss
Hanger
Lawrence.
on her?
Hanger on her. I'm his official +1. So we have a deal that says that for his first Oscar, his first Emmys, Grammys, Tonys, all the first big things that he gets to go to, I get to go.
Yes.
The first one. So I'm his +1, and we joke and we talk about how the people gonna be like, why is that woman Beverly Smith always everywhere with Miss Lawrence is? Cause bitch, I'm the +1. And so I cannot wait for my daughter to, you know, show up and show out so that I can also bask in her glory. So this is really a selfish motivation for me wanting my child to succeed, because I know my daughter is going to take good care of the mother.
And
Thank you.
And I want to say one thing, and we should all have a Bevy Smith, a friend like that. I just want to say it to you, my love. Thank you so much.
And I love you, Musa. When he in shop for ambassador, I said, you know it's going to be legendary, right?
Yes. That's right. We were all working together.
Yes.
And she got you on the phone.
Yeah.
That you have to be.
I remember.
Or whatever. And I was like, yes. What are you talking about? And here we are. Yes.
And you made it all come together, Musa. I mean, what you're doing with Ambassador is so, again, very inspirational.
Thank you.
And you are the epitome of it gets greater later. So, I mean, I just love you. I love both of you guys. I don't want to hog up the conversation because I know you don't have that much more time left. So I'm going to go back to my mama, but I just want to jump on. And
love you, mama.
And give my
a big kiss for me, please.
I will.
My girlfriend. You know that. Every time I see her.
I know. And thank you guys so much for plugging Bevelations. For everyone who actually bought the book, please leave a review. If you haven't bought the book, please do so. It's an amazing book. You won't regret it.
It's the best. One last thing. I read this, guys. I could not put it down. I didn't go to sleep. It was so good. The nuggets and the jewels and the diamonds.
But go back to Lawrence. Go back to Lawrence.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay, though, honey. It's what it is. You know. No.
Bye.
Go get your grades. Call mommy when you're done.
Okay, I will.
Thank you, my love. Okay. Anyway, listen. You already heard. And I am in full agreement with her. We was going to talk about Miss Bruce and how you went from unscripted to scripted, right?
Mm-hmm.
With ease. Let me explain. Let's just be clear, y'all. Listen, I was an model to act. I couldn't do it. Okay? Certain people are born to really be in front of the camera, be in on the screen with the lines and the whole nine. And you were able, like I said, able to transition into being an actor. That's not easy. That's not easy. You have it, man.
Thank you.
Well,
thank
girl,
you.
Dame.
Either one, any of it.
All of it?
All of it, honey.
And we're going to talk about that too.
All of it. I'm not, I don't get caught up in
Yeah.
that. That's this new thing that the people,
Pronouns.
Anyway, be careful about that, by the way.
Okay. Well, hello.
Very careful.
Okay. But we're all good. We're here. We love each other. And I just want to say, yes, but this role right here, okay? You as Miss Freddy in United States versus Billie Holiday. First off, the movie's fantastic. So if you haven't seen it, you have to go on Hulu and watch it if you can watch it. Andra Day is a revelation. Lee Daniels. Yo, Lee, come through. Okay?
Yeah.
So I will say this. And I called you and I said this to you. I said, my God, you were phenomenal. Like when you were on the screen, we couldn't take our eyes off of you. You do what we call scene stealing sometimes.
Okay.
And it's a major, what do you call that, kudu or whatever, when you say something like that to an actor. You slayed it. You really did an incredible job. I say it's Andra Day for me. but it's Miss Lawrence. It was a revelation. I want to see more.
Thank you. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed bringing Miss Freddy to life. I enjoyed making sure that Miss Freddy got her just due, because Miss Freddy was a real person that actually existed, who was real friends with Billie Holiday, who was her actual dresser. Billie Holiday was someone who respected Miss Freddy and treated Freddy as a human, and not as a peon, or not as a token gay. She respected him, his craft, and his talent, and his artistry. And in return, it was the same thing. You know, it was reciprocated by Miss Freddy. And so it saddened me when I learned about the script, or I read the script, and I went to do some research on Miss Freddy, and we couldn't find anything. We couldn't find a picture, nothing. All we could find was Billie Holiday writing about him. So that's how we knew Miss Freddy existed. And what that showed me and revealed to me was that society during that time, are the powers that be, you know, they did not want someone like Miss Freddy to be a part of history. They didn't want someone like Miss Freddy to be visible. You know, they wanted to keep Miss Freddy in the dark. And for him to not have any type of value to who he was in his existence. And so for Lee to dig that character up and say, oh, here is somebody that we probably won't hear about if I don't put him in, if I don't put him in the script, and let his and let that character or that person have their moment today. And so it moved me to really, really make sure that I served Miss Freddy well. And I think that's what pushed me so hard to be able to deliver the way that I did, you know.
Okay. I'm just, when I think about that, just being someone being, you know, like you said, being erased, but most importantly, someone like you making her so visible and so important. I can't even tell you how grateful I am to you, and grateful to Lee Daniels, let's be clear, right? For bringing this really important person. And we need to, just yesterday was Transgender Day of Visibility. We all need to be visible. We need to be telling our stories. And like I said, that character just, it resonated with so many people. And I'm not just talking about gay, I'm talking about straight, I'm talking about women, I'm talking about everybody that saw that character, saw a human, saw a friend. Yeah. You know, let's get beyond what he done. You know what I'm saying? This was a friend. This was a loyal friend.
Yeah, and you know, and again, something that really made me connect with Miss Freddy and really seek counsel from the spirit of Miss Freddy was his relationship with Billie. Again, as I said, growing up, I found a lot of refuge from just being in the space of women and being a part of women's culture, hanging out in hair salons, in beauty salons, you know. All of my close friends when I was younger, like all of my best friends that I would call a best friend were always a woman, you know, or a young girl, or whatever the case may be. And so, yeah, you know, the looking at or reading the relationship between Billie and Miss Freddy, it definitely resonated with me. You know what I'm saying? It was very familiar. It was very familiar, and it had this kind of kindred soul type of feeling while we were shooting between Andrew Day and I.
Y'all, whoever, Angelique and Tamika and Yvonne and Susan, I see all of y'all.
Hey y'all, I don't see any comments. Hey y'all,
bro, you see the comments. You could just listen to them all day, right? That's what I'm. Y'all,
how I see them now.
I'm thinking, right? You know, And what I love about you also is that just so the connection that you have to your to who you are and your talent. And when you mention women, say her name, anthem to women, Black women. If y'all don't know, Google, YouTube, say her name, an amazing song, and you could sing, honey.
Thank you.
I want to hear more singing from you as well. And Bevy just, she nailed it. She nailed it. Seeing Miss Freddy hearing say her name, what you represent, just your being so fucking honest and real. We all need to see you more. And this is, we all do. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for it. I really am. And I'm blessed, and I think we all should be so blessed to be in a time, you know, as you mentioned, growing up in the late 90s and 2000s, and then someone like me in the 80s, and then my uncle mentioning Miss Freddy. I wish I had a picture of my uncle. Wow. My uncle was from that era, and he was a gay Black man, fabulous, honey, and had to go to my mother's uncle. My mother's in the 80s, give you an idea, right? My mother's uncle had to go to Europe. He married, he had children, but he was fabulous. And I remember when he came back to New York, he was wearing an ascot, and he would, all the children, and said, you. He picked me out, new. And you always know. So the timing, the time that you live in, we live in now, Miss Lawrence, is ripe.
Yeah.
You just explode, keep exploding.
I'm so inspired. I think things that keep me going is when I see the new breeds of talent that is doing their thing. When I look at the Saucy Santanas, and I look at you know, I look at Lil Uzi Vert, I look at Young Thugger, I look at so many people that represent nonconformity, and they are doing it in such a huge way now, you know. And let me be clear that being a nonconformist does not mean that you are gay. It just means that you are going completely against societal norms of what we should look and act like based on gender. And can you hear me?
Yeah, it's coming in and out, but I hear what you're saying about if they can hear me. You know, he was just talking about being, you know, not being a nonconformist or being gay doesn't have anything to do with. Go ahead, you can finish it from there.
Right. No, I was just saying things that keep me inspired when I go on social media and I see what the movement is doing and how it's growing. You know, yeah, it's definitely, you know, thinking about a Miss Freddy, thinking about your uncle, thinking about your generation, thinking about my generation, and then the kids or the girls that are here now. It makes me very, very excited to know where we're going. My sister T.S. Madison, she has her own show that she produced on WeTV as a Black trans woman from the streets. She's not one of them Black trans girls that, you know, she's not one of them. She ain't one of them ones that, you know, conforms. You know, I don't want to, you know, I won't go too far, but, you know, she's just real about it, you know, and she stayed on course and landed her own show on WeTV. That right there is motivation. You know what I mean? That, you know, when I look at stuff like that, it's motivation. When I look at what the cast of Pose did, you know, a lot of them were very young, and they portrayed and played out a lot of the people that we speak of, you know, that walked before we did in the ballroom community. You know, my sister Maya Scott, who is so beautiful and could have easily chosen to continue on a path of blending and being unspookable and unclockable, decided to honor and live and exist exactly as who she was or who she is, and became the first Black trans woman to have a series regular role on network television, on primetime television. It's stories like that keeps me motivated and keeps me excited. But we still have a long way to go, because while we are taking up space in film and television, and we're becoming more and more visible, and we've got people creating hashtags, and we now have a proclamated trans awareness and visibility day. Let's look at where we fit on the spectrum of equity. You know what I mean? So there are still a lot of things that we have to tackle, but we are getting there. But my main mission, what's most important to me, is that we get on one accord as a Black family. Because as soon as we do that, and we're doing it, we're getting there. When I talk about my little drag daughter whose father comes to her drag shows, when I think about those stories, like, we're getting there, we're progressing, but we got to do it more, and we got to make sure that we're spreading that love and those messages, because what we've been able to do just as Black people by ourselves, what Black women have been able to do for themselves, what they've always done as the soul bearers for our existence as Black people. Imagine what we will look like as a unit when we are all on one accord. It's straight takeover. Straight takeover. It's bitch grand prize category closed.
Done. And I totally agree. That's one of another reason why I will say this here. Ambassador Digital Magazine is open. I love my community. I love all of us and how we all show up and how we represent. It's important to me. That's how I was raised. We've honored Tracy Africa Norman. I open it to the Black trans community. You are my family. You're my sisters. You're my brothers. You are. We all have to get past those things and really start looking, like you said, as oneness, because we're so much stronger together. When we fight, when Black trans women and men fight, they're fighting when they for George Floyd and testing. They're fighting because it hurt us. Okay, we need that same energy when it happens to them, when it happens to Black trans. I don't understand that. And so this platform here, this is a platform, another space. And I'll always connect those dots. I'm here in New York, you're in Atlanta, got people out in LA. It's important, the work that you've been doing. We talked about activism. It's beyond the hashtag. It's like you said, my love. It's like you said, my love, having those heels to the pavement and doing the work. Okay, and going right up to her or him and saying, like you said, you got a voucher for a shelter or home,
literally
meds. Do you have this or whatever? That's even each one teach one. You mentioned earlier about being a hairstylist, and Bevy talked about what you've done in your life. But also, I want to add to that and say, when he left his chair, whatever, as a stylist, he made sure he had 7 people, at least 7 behind him, because there's a spiritual number. He wanted
7 is the number of completion. Yeah.
And he wanted those 7 hairstylists that were learning under the top hairstylist to have all the knowledge that he has so they could be successful and pass that on. He doesn't talk, you don't talk about that. I had to bring that up. So I want to make sure
it's fine.
You understand that that's what's important as well. And that beyond, all that you've been doing is fantastic. And it's for those reasons and more. Paul, we're at that time, honey. It's that those reasons and more that I had to, Bevy said, hey, he's got to be on the ambassador cover, and you got the tape. I screamed and said yes, all the same night.
And that your
100, and here we are.
James, the photographer, is incredible.
Incredible, James.
He's incredible.
James that.
James Hicks. He's amazing.
If James Hicks, I don't know, James was on earlier. Might have went somewhere. But James, please come back if you want to. But what we will do, yes, we are ready for the cover. Please come on. This is live, everybody. This is how we do. You know it. But we had to get those other things out and talk about this, the community and stuff. So here we are. This is that time where we show the cover. I can't wait. Paul. Paul always does this to me. Little suspense. Here we go. Bam.
Yeah, the divine. Come on.
The divine Miss Lawrence.
Oh, that is so amazing. I got to take a picture there from my phone. Look at this.
Oh.
God, that looks good.
Doesn't that look? Oh, that looks so damn good. Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Musa. Thank you, James. If he's on here, James.
James, I don't know where you are, baby, but James, is it James L. Hicks? If you are on social media, James L. Hicks, Reese, I see you, Reese, is an amazing photographer. Our crew out there in Atlanta, and I think the his assistant or stuff was Vincent Scott.
Yes, Vincent. Yes, Vincent Scott.
Right. Yes. Okay. Vincent.
He did all of the behind the scenes footage. Yes.
Beautiful photos behind the scenes. We published those as well. But I love this cover. I love it. I love it. I love it. And look at you.
Smolder, honey.
Smoldering.
Yes, smolder.
Smoldering. You already know. You know.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. It was it's an honor. There's Deborah Shaw, another fierce supermodel.
Thank you.
Came on.
That picture. I need that picture.
No, well,
I need to post it.
Well, we got you.
Okay.
I think I can arrange.
Not the, I mean the whole thing, like with the ambassador, all of that.
Yeah, no, you mean
the cover. I need the cover. Yeah.
Yeah. We can. Yeah. We debut it. Our Miss Lawrence debuts our brand new website. Everyone, been so excited. digitalmag.com. Once again, ambassadordigitalmag.com. Miss Lawrence is debuting our brand new website. You'll see all the past interviews, all the past covers. Beautiful website. You get to see a little bit right now of it. It's a little frozen, but yeah, you get to see it, scroll through different articles as well.
Yes.
And there he is. There she is. Love it.
Wow.
And this interview, the live, will also be a part of that. So you'll get to see that as well. And please share, let everybody know about it. But gorgeous, the divine Miss Lawrence.
Oh, look at that one. That's so good.
Isn't that so good? So
I'm
good.
I'm wearing that jacket right now.
Are you?
It's the same jacket as the one as yeah.
Oh yeah, I see.
It's the same jacket, yeah.
Look, honey. What is this? I want to ask though. What is the fur? What is the?
Honey, you know what that was? You know, I always dress myself. That is a skirt by Tom Ford that I've had for years. I actually walked the Ebony House Ball labels and I won actually, and it was a skirt and it's black and it has like these silver metallic feathers and all this. It's all ostrich. And I just took it and put it around my neck.
Love it. Beautiful. Unbelievable. Fabulous.
And my earrings are
yes.
Balenciaga. And my turban is by oh God, what is that guy's name? Oh my God, this is terrible. He's in New York. He sells his stuff at Bergdorf's. I forget his name. That's so awful. But anyway,
Okay. We'll
I've
get
had
his
it for
next.
a while though. It all came out of my closet, so that's why I forgot.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Well, anyway, everyone, this is the new website. You'll get to see it scrolls. It's a little on the screen, but if you once you get the website, it's easy to scroll and see the full articles, see the pictures, all that. There's advertisement on the side from Red Rooster.
Oh wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at her.
You better
Look at her
work.
sitting up there.
You better work, honey. Look at that.
She is really laying up there like she got some hair. Oh my God.
Of course.
I love it.
That's beautiful. Unbelievable. So gorgeous.
Thank you so much, Musa. This is amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so honored. And I can't wait to see what's in store for Ambassador Digital Magazine.
Thank you, baby. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. I'm going to watch the movie again. You know, making me watch the movie again. And I think we all are in agreement. We all can say this. We cannot wait to see what is next from Miss Lawrence. You are
either.
You are hot. You better say it.
Me either. Okay.
We can't. And I want to say once again, thank you, James L. Hicks and Vincent. Thank you so much. Your cover is epic. We love you. Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Paul's like the Wizard of Oz back there.
Right.
I always say that.
Thank you so much.
I love you so much. Thank you guys for joining us and live your life.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.